Hey everyone, I'm Johnny and I'm fresh back from Lisbon, where I realized two things. I love Lisbon and I love London as well. I've got a good situation going on here in my London flat, and I wanted to highlight four pieces of gear in particular that really make a difference for me when working from home. My setup is not as fancy as some pro YouTubers. I'm not a professional YouTuber after all, I'm a professional software engineer, but my setup does help me get in the flow when I work. And I do get compliments from colleagues over Google Meet and Zoom. So let's see what we're working with here. And to not keep you in suspense, I'm mostly gonna talk about my mic, my softbox, my trackpad, and my camera. Let's go! First up, the mic. Easily the most important thing. This Rode Podcaster mic makes me sound great. Is directional, so it mostly picks up my voice and not so much the noise from the street, or the dishwasher around the corner, or me visiting with various items off screen. And of course, sounding clear and cool is the priority for me. My accent makes sounding clear challenging by itself, and let's face it, nowadays I'm doing more talking than coding. Even when I code, I'm usually also talking. The Podcaster is a USB mic, so no amplifier, no mixer, no nothing, no post-processing really. It just works. It does need some sort of stand, so I do have it in this sock mount, which minimizes noise as I fidget and bump into it. And it also helps when I'm in the coffee table position, because then my keyboard and trackpad are on the same surface and cause vibrations. And the arm is this fancy Pixar lamp style studio arm, also from Rode. It makes it very easy to move out of the way when I'm not recording, back to the standing desk, to the coffee table position, all the while keeping the nice angle that I want. The base of the arm clamps on anything flat, so it should work with all coffee tables, but not all desks. It does open wide, but not wide enough to clamp on a desk with a drawer, for example. The coffee table I got from Maison du Monde, and looking this information up made me realize that I've proper beavered this place up over the years. I am renting furnished, but have switched out pretty much everything and have added like a million things. Oh well, at least I got rid of the curtains. Natural light must shine through. So quite a lot of things to get great audio, and I do sometimes travel with the whole set, but to be honest, now I'd recommend getting the Rode NT USB instead of the Podcaster. At least then you have the option to omit the sock mount and arm. The NT USB doesn't look as cool, but my research indicates that it sounds just as great. And crucially, it comes with its own cute little stand. Perfect for traveling. Alright, I realize this turned out to be the Rode fanboy section, so let me assure you that neither Rode nor any other company is sponsoring this. No affiliate links, no ad revenue, no nothing. I just wanted to share a few things. So let me know if you've got alternatives that work for you, or if you end up taking my advice. Next up is this softbox from Neweer. People do say my camera looks great, even when I use the embedded MacBook Pro camera, and I can only imagine it's because I'm constantly blasting my face with one of these contraptions. Light is the most important thing when it comes to video quality, no matter the camera you're using. Great lighting allows you to use a lower ISO and have less grain. And unlike film grain, the grain from digital gain looks bad quickly. So avoid your camera or software having to compensate too much for bad lighting by having great lighting. And these softboxes generally do the job. They aren't powerful enough to fill in against direct sunlight, but they're decent for overcast weather and great after dark. And they give me this nice softbox eye glint instead of the alien halo you get from a ring light. The ones I got do come in pairs, and I was never planning on using both. A 3-point lighting setup is out of scope for what I'm doing, but almost immediately I managed to break one of them. I broke the screw, not the socket, the thing on the bulb that screws into the socket. That thing got stuck. Doesn't really matter. Let's just say I screwed that one up and move on. Next, we have Apple's Magic Trackpad 2. A bit of a curveball, I know, but getting one has improved how I work considerably. Yes, the MacBooks have one, but what if your MacBook has to be higher up to keep the display on eye level? What if you're using the embedded camera? You'd want that to be on eye level or higher as well. And in any case, I do prefer the trackpad being next to the keyboard. But why a trackpad in the first place? Well, a trackpad is quieter than a mouse, and it makes it much easier to switch between the meeting and your notes, for example. The meeting and the Miro board or whichever online collab tool you're using. And working in tools like Miro with a trackpad is so much better. They make your life much easier. So yeah, the trackpad is a major go for me. As much fun as I'm having using my mechanical keyboard, for example, doesn't make me that much more productive. The trackpad does. Goodbye and silently slide through desktops again. Finally, we get to the camera. It's the obvious thing when talking working from home setups, but again, I've gotten compliments about my great camera, even when I'm not using the frankly absurd gear that I've got set up now. And it's because I sound great, the natural light from the window is doing good work, along with the softbox filling things up, and maybe because I do bother to keep even the MacBook camera around eye level. These things sell the package even when the camera itself is not great. And that's why I was struggling to find something that would be a meaningful upgrade over my embedded MacBook Pro camera. A Logitech Brio? A GoPro? I decided that if I was going to upgrade, I would want natural bokeh. And for that, I'd need to spring for something like a used Sony a5100. And at that point, I was like, let's bite the bullet, mount my proper camera I've got for photography with my wide-angle lens. And before I mention the models, let me stress, you shouldn't do this. They aren't just overkill, they are their own tools for the job. The end result is good, but cheaper solutions would get you better results. But there is nothing cheaper than I've already got this, so here we are. The camera is the Sony a7R4, and the lens is the 24mm 1.4f Sony G Master lens. Yes, a combo meant for astrophotography I've mounted to capture my face. Makes me feel like a star. I've gotten this nice monitor stand from Etsy, attached the Manfrotto Super Clamp on it, slotted the magic arm into that, and the camera umbrella mount bracket thingy at the top. My absurd camera and lens combo is quite heavy, so to minimize the risk of the whole thing toppling over and me crying over broken glass, I've put the heaviest board game I own on it, Gloomhaven. I was delighted to give it some use. All of this on a tall standing desk from Argos. I guess that's another thing people talk about when it comes to working from home setups, but I just looked for tall and thin for this. White and woody. It ain't got a fancy motorized conversion system or anything like that. I usually stand, but when I need a break, I just lay on the couch or the floor. To connect the camera to the laptop, I am not using an HDMI cable and capture card. I've installed some official Sony software, and now the camera connects via USB just fine. Apparently, frame rate and color accuracy may be worse, but the USB connection works too well for me to bother trying to potentially improve things at the certain cost of more cables. Alright, let's see how all of this actually comes together. This is the embedded MacBook Pro camera with the background filter from Google Meet. Here's me casually sliding around. Let's remove that filter. There goes that fake bokeh. And finally, let's switch to that Sony camera. Right, and this of course looks nuts. I love it. And if I switch to capturing the video directly in the Sony camera, we get even more nuts. I love it. But a lot of the time in a meeting, people aren't really looking at me. And when they do, it's not full screen because there are other people in the room or I'm sharing my screen. So again, I do love this. I do get a bit bummed if I have to fall back to the laptop camera, but not as bummed as when I have to use the AirPods microphone, for example. Alright, that's it for this video. There will be some links in the description, and again, they're not affiliate links. I'm only doing this for your attention. Sometimes I saw things that entertain or help you. Sometimes I get responses back that entertain or help me, and that's amazing. So thanks a bunch for watching, and I'll see you around.